Today on Singles Court, Karen's love life was coming up roses till her roommate got involved.
She constantly meddles in the middle and finds a way to stop it.
Rose says the dudes are duds.
I got a vibe, okay? That guy has something underneath all that. She really has awful taste. She really does.
So she has
And Sharon's dating diary is distressing Drew.
You didn't tell me about it for a year and a half.
I don't have to tell you everything, Drew.
Yeah.
But I don't have to tell you everything.
Are her erotic entries evidence of two-time online?
I love you. I'm happy in our relationship. And what do you say to me? You say I'm sleeping with him. I am not sleeping
How was I
with him.
supposed to know?
Aloha and welcome to Singles Court, the big kahuna on the Singles Broadcast Network. I'm the Chief Kaloaloa, Michael Day, but please meet the lady who's not wearing a grass skirt today, but knows what's going on nonetheless, relationship mediator Angela Siegel.
Thank you, Michael.
You like that little flavor I threw on it there?
It was different. It was different.
You know, a bit Polynesian.
Still trying to get to Hawaii.
Okay. Enough about my dreams and aspirations. Today in the studio, we have two singles who have an issue with each other. Over there, we have Rose, and beside her, we have Karen. Karen's a talent agent, and Rose is a waitress. They've been friends for 7 years and roommates for 3. However, the beef is that Karen has a problem with Rose's interference with Karen's boyfriends. I'll let them clear up my boggled explanation, but I call this the case of don't go there, girlfriend.
No or?
Not today.
Okay. Well, let's start from the beginning. What seems to be the problem, Karen?
Well, Rose, she just constantly seems to be interfering in my relationships.
It's not that way at all. She keeps asking me for
You're
advice.
interfering in her explanation.
Let me at least tell this story.
All right.
Every time I meet someone new, I try to start a new relationship. She constantly meddles in the middle and finds a way to stop it. She loses phone messages. She gets information wrong. All of a sudden, I don't know where to go, where the restaurant is for dinner. Just constant problems. She's always being bitter and saying nasty things about the men I bring home. It's really frustrating.
Okay, Rose, let's start. Let's establish first, the two of you live together?
Yes.
Roommates?
Right.
Okay. So what's the big issue? She's saying you're doing this on purpose, sort of sabotaging her relationships.
We're friends. We've been really good friends and good roommates for like a while now. And
Not lately.
And we give each other advice, and she comes to me for advice, especially in dating. And
Okay, so she's coming to you for dating advice. And would you say the majority of your advice is what? Helpful?
Negative?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It is.
You need an outside perspective.
I
and
just
that's what
want your
give you.
opinion, but it doesn't mean that I have to use it. If you tell me you don't
Obviously
like somebody,
not.
it doesn't mean that I have to dump them.
Why ask for it anyways? I mean, I give her the opinion, and then
your
she
opinion
just
matters to me, but it's not your life.
Okay, Karen, if you're asking for somebody's opinion, though, they're going to give you the opinion.
That's fine.
Well, but if you don't like what she tells you, this may sound like a revelation, but don't ask her.
Well, I'm going to seriously stop doing that now.
I mean, you're complaining about something that you could clearly just don't ask her.
But it's beyond that.
Okay,
it's not just the opinion.
Okay, then let's get beyond that.
Yeah,
'Cause the opinion, don't ask, don't tell. Sound familiar?
But that, if it was just the opinions, that would be easy to deal with. But it's more constant sabotage.
It's not sabotage.
A few weeks
I'm helping you out.
I'll give you that. Okay, a few weeks ago, I had a dinner date planned, and it was someone that I had known, but it was our first sort of romantic date together. I'd bought a new dress, I'd cooked all day, I was planning a big romantic dinner, and Rose said she was going to be away for the evening, out for the night, and that's great.
And I was.
And she knew that it was important to me to be alone and to have this romantic dinner. Well, 45 minutes into dinner, she shows up. And ruins the evening. He left.
But how did he leave by her just showing up? Rose, what did you do when you showed up? I mean, were you naked?
No.
I mean, what happened?
I went out to my party, and then, kind of ended early. So then, what am I supposed to do? Wander around the streets?
Well, good. I mean, what do you have, an efficiency? Why can't she show up?
Yeah, exactly.
It was a very romantic evening. It wasn't something, and she knew. And I had asked her. She'd said she was going out, and I said, I'd like if you're planning on going out, that's great, because I would like the apartment.
No, I believe that because I used to have a roommate and we had a system worked out. You know, if I was going to be home.
This is not about you and your roommate.
It's not about me?
No, you might learn something. So shh.
Okay.
You have to help me to understand how her just walking into the room ruined your romantic evening, because I don't understand that.
I was quiet.
You were surly. You were pissed off because your plans got canceled.
What did she do? Look at me. What did she do? Did she stomp around? Did she tip over the food? Did she sit in the casserole?
No, but
what did she do?
The point was more that it was supposed to be a private evening. She knew that it meant something to me, and she insisted on coming home, coming in a surly mood, interrupting a very romantic, intimate evening, and it wasn't her place to do so. So it's another one of the examples. That's not the only thing.
Well, you know what? You better come up with a better one than that, because I don't consider that necessarily the end of your romantic evening.
Okay, let's talk about Greg, shall we?
Yes,
Greg, yeah.
we shall.
That guy
talk
was a
about
dud.
Greg.
She meets him for 10 minutes, and
Look, I got a vibe, okay? That guy had something underneath all that.
What did you do?
I was doing you a favor.
Rose, when you met him, what did you do? You met him, you thought he was a dud. What did you do?
I told her what I thought. She's
Told
always
her
asked
or told him? Or
No. I told her what I thought in private, of course.
Okay.
Right, but then what happened is that I had a business weekend came up where I had to go away due to work, and I didn't have a chance to tell him. I tried to get a hold of him, but it was very short notice, and so I didn't get a chance to tell him. I left a message with her saying, if he calls, please tell him I've gone away. It's a business weekend with another colleague from the office to a hotel, but separate rooms, totally
So I was
business.
in a rush. I get the phone call. He says, no, where is she? Where is she? Say, well, she went out. She's gone for the weekend with this, with this guy. So then I
come
had to
on
go.
now, Rose. Don't you think it's a little fishy that every guy is a dud? There's something wrong with every guy.
She really has awful taste. She really does.
So she has awful taste, but at what point do you start to say, well, maybe I just need to keep my mouth shut about this? It's her life.
Yeah, I guess. Maybe I should start.
I guess.
But to interfere, and this guy wouldn't talk to me. He was furious with me. I finally...
Well, maybe you should have told him that you were going.
No,
I tried.
You know what? That's not the issue. The question comes, because we're talking about your relationship. That part is peripheral. Let me get back to you, Rose. Why don't you think it's a little fishy that there's something wrong with every guy she goes out with? I mean, are you jealous?
I'm just looking out for her. She's a good friend.
But you're not. You're her friend. You're not her her alter ego. You're not her mother.
No one is ever good enough. Ever. There's always a problem.
Why is it that no one seems to meet your standards? No man that she meets seems to meet your standards.
Saw these men.
No.
Well, I mean, what are the men that you date like? Are they all perfect?
Like 2 dates in the last 3 years.
Maybe I'm
like
okay being by myself. Maybe I don't need anyone.
Well, that's
to date.
fine. But you know what? I guess
Stop interfering with my life, then.
You all can. You know what? I have a nail appointment, which I would much rather go to if you all are not going to talk about the issues. Okay? Really. Help me understand why you have a problem with every single man she dates.
I don't know. Maybe I just don't like men. Maybe I don't like men.
Okay, and what would it be about them that you don't like? Because it's kind of hard to live in this world without them. I can testify to that.
Me too.
So you tell, Michael, so you tell me what it is that makes you blurt out something like, maybe I just don't like men, like it's some big revelation.
I guess I just prefer the company of women, that's all. I could do without them. I'm like...
Okay.
What do you...
So you prefer the company of women,
Sure.
which is fine. That's your choice.
That's my choice, yeah.
But tell me how you feel justified imposing it on your supposed friend.
Well, I don't. I just, I care for her and I give her advice and she brings home these people and she wants my opinion, then I will give it.
If you're looking for some sort of relationship between us, like that's
No, I know that you're not interested in women. I know that. And I'm your friend, and that's what I want to do.
Karen, did you know that she had interest in women beyond?
No, this is...
So how do you feel about that?
I'm pretty shocked.
Well, I didn't think it would matter. I mean,
but
it's
you
not
just
like
seem to
we
want to
talk about
control me.
Do you see the dynamics of this? I mean, there are, first of all, some little revelations you came up with. Plus, you're trying to control her life. Do you understand what that means for the friendship?
I don't see it like that.
How do you see it?
I'm looking out for her. I'm protecting her from her making a fool of herself.
Look out for this.
It's not up to you whether I make a fool of myself.
Michael, let's go to commercial. I just want to be sure that I understand this correctly, Rose. Are you saying that you're a lesbian?
Yes.
Okay. Let's get to the resolution. Now, Karen, basically you have a real issue with the opinions that Rose has been giving you. But as I said before, that's pretty easy to remedy. Don't ask her. You can't tell somebody things in confidence, when you're angry, when you're mad about a relationship, and expect them to forget that you told them. As a matter of fact, the other friend usually remembers it longer than you do. So they remind you of things that you told them. Rose, you, on the other hand, have to realize that your relationships are not her relationships. Your hatreds are not hers. And sometimes when we care about people, it's okay to give our opinion, but sometimes we have to temper it with respect to their feelings. So just because someone says, does my butt look big in these jeans, doesn't mean you say, yeah, sure it does. Sometimes you just keep your opinion to yourself. You know, relationships in general, as you know, require some, obviously, honesty, but also great regard to the person's feelings. And you have to look at this and say, okay, it's not so much that I tell the whole truth, but it's that I protect their feelings. And Rose, what I would suggest to you is, instead of looking at the relationship through only your eyes, try to use some rose-colored glasses. And that's that, in black and white.
Next on Singles Court, Sharon's dating diary is distressing Drew.
You didn't tell me about it for a year and a
I don't have to
half.
tell you everything, Drew.
Are her erotic entries evidence of two-time online?
I love you. I'm happy in our relationship. And what do you say to me? You say I'm sleeping with him. I am not sleeping
How was
with
I
him.
supposed to know?
Hello, hello over here. We're back. Remember us? Singles Court with Angela Siegel.
Hello, Michael.
I just had to get everybody's attention before we start.
Did you see what's going on out there? It's crazy. You
There's
put
a
up the
crowd.
singles board, and there's like, Mr. Montana's getting the most attention, I tell you.
Yes,
It's hot.
well, I have my eye on Mr. Colorado.
Oh, God.
He's very rocky.
All right.
Okay, enough
Scare
about
me.
me and my eyes. In our studio today, we have Drew, who is a bartender, and Sharon, who's a receptionist. Now, they've been going together now for about a year and a half, and everything's been great. However, Drew has an issue with what Sharon's been doing at night. Now, before you jump to conclusions, she is having a bit of a cyber affair. That's what it is. She's got a steamy internet diary that she posts on the web, and I'll let them tell you more about it. But I call this the case of private life, public broadcast, or reboot my love.
Okay. Well, Drew, it sounds as though the internet's been causing you some problems, so tell me what's going on.
Okay, a few weeks ago, a friend of mine at work, a buddy of mine, glued me into this internet site, an erotic site for people to click onto and get aroused, I guess. And it's these international stories and intrigues and erotic exploits of this guy named Dallas and all the women he has fun with. So I was reading with her, we were having a good time, reading, having fun, and I scroll down to the end of the page, and it's written by somebody named Sharon Hotsamama, which I was quite devastated by because Hotsamama happens to be the nickname that I gave Sharon. It was just too much of a coincidence.
Okay, Sharon, so is it a coincidence or is it a fact? Is
Well,
that your
no,
writing?
I mean, it's a fact. I'm definitely know that now. It is my writing. I'm a writer of erotica material on the internet.
Very good erotica material, I might add. I've logged on a few times.
I bet you
It's
have.
classy material.
Classy.
Well, anyways, it's about this one character named Lance. He's sort of that playboy, sort of international spy, lover. He's very passionate. And the work is incredible, which some people just don't want to see.
It's not that I don't want to see it, it's that you didn't tell me about it for a year and a
I don't have
half.
to tell you everything, Drew.
Yeah.
But-
I don't have to tell you everything.
I didn't say you had
Sharon.
to tell me everything about it.
Sharon, can you understand that if you've been writing for a year and a half, the person that's your boyfriend should at least know that you're, I mean, do you at least understand where he's coming from there?
Well, I have two points on that. A,
Okay, tell
he
me
saw
both
me
of them.
writing constantly. I'm always on my computer. Not once has he ever said to me, "Darling, honey, what are you writing?"
I was giving
Okay, so
you your
it's his
space.
fault you didn't tell him?
Well, no,
Yeah.
it's not just his fault, no. But I mean, I started this before I met him, and it's.
But
sort
why
of-
didn't you tell him?
It's-
That would be, I mean, think about it. Let's change the occupation and let's say he were a fireman and had to run out and put out a fire and said, well, she didn't ask me.
Yeah, that's
I
true.
wasn't wearing my hose. I mean, think about it. Don't you think you owe him some sort of explanation what you do for a living?
Well, it was sort of private. I wanted to keep it private for a while. It's a lot of my own personal thoughts, fantasies.
How can it be,
things
how can
that
it
I
be private?
want.
It's on the internet.
It-
My friend tells me
People
about
don't
it.
know who it is. People don't know it's me. People are just reading material.
My friend
It's
knew
fiction.
it was you because he knows I call you Hotsamama.
Well, one or two people might know. If he told anyone, then that's that.
One or two
Drew,
people
tell
might
me,
know.
tell me what do you have issue with? First, you didn't tell you. We
First
know
is-
that's
yeah,
one thing.
the honesty
okay.
issue.
Okay. Now, what's the next issue?
The next issue is that this is coming between us. I think that.
How come? Why is it coming between us?
It's coming between us because it's a trust issue. I don't know if
exactly.
I can say.
It's a trust issue.
Well,
No, wait a minute, Drew.
Yeah.
It's a trust issue. That's what he says. Well, you don't go snooping through my private diary.
Your diary's on the internet.
It's not private.
He went snooping through some of my private files to find.
You've always allowed
tell
me
me
to go
about
through
that.
your computer files.
Well, I told you can always use my computer, but you can't go into the files and read material on my stuff.
Wait a minute, tell me I'm missing something here because you're going off on this like tangent about him going into your secret files. What are you talking about?
We have a computer that we both share.
Okay.
And I just think it's really devious that he went onto the computer into my parts that I was writing.
So is this separate from what you put on the internet for the whole world to see?
It's the same thing.
It's a little icon on the screen that says My Documents, right?
I know that, Michael. Who are you, Bill Gates? I mean, chill. I'm trying to understand this because you're mad at him for finding out this information that you showed the whole world.
I'm mad at him that he does. No, I'm mad at him because he doesn't trust me. I'm mad at him that I go and tell him, I love you. I'm happy in our relationship. And what do you say to me? You say I'm sleeping with him. I am not sleeping
How
with
was I
him.
supposed to know?
What is it? Who's him?
Dallas.
This Dallas
the character,
guy.
the fictional
This guy.
character that I've been writing about all this time. Yeah. He thinks I am having
How did
an
I know?
affair.
I didn't know. How was I supposed to know?
You don't trust me. That's the issue, is that you don't trust me.
How can I trust you? How can I trust you when you didn't even tell me?
Hello!
Thank you.
How can we hear you when you keep on shouting?
Thank you. Drew, help me to understand this issue about Dallas. Do you have a problem with Dallas?
Yes, I have a problem with Dallas.
And Dallas is fictional?
He might be, he's this
I guess
supposedly
maybe
well-endowed, fantastic lover, man of mystery. How am I supposed to compete? I'm a bartender.
Think about it. How are you supposed to compete with a fantasy? Do you not have fantasies of your own? Do you
Absolutely.
not have? If you look in Playboy or any other magazine, is she supposed to compete with that?
I'm not.
It's not real, is it?
No, it's not real.
Okay, so explain to me how you feel as though you have to compete with this fictional character.
I feel inadequate next to that person. I mean, that's.
Why are you next to somebody who's fictitious?
Because.
Who's put you there?
I guess I've put me there.
Well, then you know what? No wonder you can't measure up. I mean, come on. Can you fly?
No.
Are you scared of kryptonite?
No.
Sharon, do you understand that what his big issue is partly the fact that you did not tell him? He had to find this out from somebody else. Do you at least understand where he's coming from?
I understand that, and that's about one night talking, I'm sorry, it's over. It's not about constant arguing, coming at me every single day.
What can you do, though, Sharon, to help him feel more secure? I think he can at some point see that it's fictional, but you also have a responsibility to make him feel secure. What can you do to do that?
At this point, the only security he wants is for me to stop writing, and I won't do that. It's my personal creative outlet, and I won't stop doing it, no matter what you want.
Besides that, because obviously...
No matter
I've tried everything.
Even if it makes
I've tried everything.
Okay,
kills our relationship?
What?
Even if it kills our relationship, you don't care?
We don't have a relationship if we don't have trust, Drew.
Sharon, I asked you a question, and you said, I've tried everything. Give me an example. One thing that you've tried to help him feel better about the fact that there's this fictional character that he's competing with.
I have tried taking him for dinners, long walks, candlelight, wine, everything.
So basically, you tried things against his fear. Is that? I mean, are you all? What is his issue with you all? How about intimacy? Are you all are you able to achieve intimacy?
No.
That's a problem right now because it's becoming a barrier.
Ever since Dallas came into the picture and he's found out about Dallas, he won't go into the bedroom with me.
Well, how am I supposed to compete with that?
Bored of hearing him complain about a fictional character.
Let's log off. What do you think? I'll be back with my resolution. You know, fantasy has its place. It's in the mind only. Drew, the fact that you felt pressure, inadequacy, inability to perform, competitive, all those things were self-imposed. They were brought on by you. Why would you match yourself up with a fictional character? Who can win in that situation? And you really have no right to ask her to quit something she loves. But you, on the other hand, Sharon, have to look at the fact that you have a responsibility as well to nurture him, to protect him, and help him to feel secure. You should have told him what you did for a living. You never gave me a good excuse as to why you didn't do that. You have a responsibility to let him know what it is that you love if you plan to have a relationship. Now, within this relationship, you have to look at, even with relationships in general, everybody Each person in it has to say, what can I do to make the other person feel secure and know that I care about them? If each person does their part, then both people are happy. In this case, Sharon, you forgot about Drew's securities and forgot about making him feel comfortable and nurtured. I will tell you that in life, everybody knows that life is not a fairy tale and neither are relationships. But if you plan it right and care about the other person's feelings, you can, in fact, live happily ever after. And that's that in black and white.
Well, there it is. As far as relationships go, when you're sharing the rent, it doesn't necessarily mean you're sharing a life. And in this case, if you're going to live on Fantasy Island, you're pretty much going to feel the pain. You like that one?
Oh, you are silly.
Well, I'm in a silly mood. I'll do better next time. So join us here at Singles Court, the final word for singles.